Through 2 seasons at USC after leaving behind Oklahoma, has Lincoln Riley failed? And I'm not going to lead you on. The answer is a resounding yes, and I'm here to tell you why. Now, it's hard to give a college football head coach a clear judgment through only 2 years under a new program. However, Lincoln Riley is not your average coach, and USC is not your average program, as you already know. But for you to truly understand the Lincoln Riley saga, we got to go back in time for a bit. From 2017 to 2021 as the Oklahoma Sooners head coach, Riley went 55-10 with the highest winning percentage for a single coach in OU history, producing back-to-back Heisman winners in Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He was highly regarded as one of the premier coaches in the sport. However, the one knack on Lincoln Riley was the defensive identity of his teams, or lack thereof. This caused his teams to go 0-3 in the college football playoffs, with 2 of the 3 showings being blowouts that were not even competitive. His teams were talented enough on offense to put up a strong showing in the regular season against Big 12 competition, but when it came down to it against the big-time programs, the Sooners had absolutely zero chance of winning. During those same years that Riley was at Oklahoma, USC went a measly 33-27 under head coach Clay Helton, who was hated by the fan base. That's a little foreshadowing for you right there, losing in only 2 bowl appearances and only appearing in 1 conference title game. This was a USC program that was living in the shadow of the success that they had in the mid-2000s with head coach Pete Carroll. So what could the Trojans possibly do to return to greatness? What they thought would save them was making a huge splash, hiring head coach Lincoln Riley for the 2022 season, completely overhauling the team with the transfer portal, including the Heisman for that season, Caleb Williams. Riley and the Trojans got out to a hot start, going 11-1 and reaching the Pac-12 championship game. However, the defense was still a bit of the problem, and this scared many fans looking at Riley's past. But it's okay, right? 1 game away from the college football playoff. Then USC got exposed in the conference championship to Utah, getting out-physicaled, losing 47-24. It looked like grown-ups versus high schoolers. USC could not tackle. There was no business of them being in that game. And then they also lose in the final game of the season to Tulane, 46-45 in the Cotton Bowl. What? Lincoln Riley losing a bowl game? That never happens. Just kidding. That happens every single time. There seems to be some recurring themes here for Riley, losing big games and also being limited by his defense. But on the bright side, an electric start to the Riley era, almost making the college football playoff in his first year and having another one of his players win the Heisman. Things can only go up from here, right? Right, guys? Right? You already know how it went if you're watching the video right now. Things did not go up for the Trojans in 2023. USC started out the season 6-0, but things on the field just weren't looking right. They were barely winning games against unranked Colorado and Arizona. And as I noted in a previous video titled, I am extremely worried about USC football, I could pretty much see the writing on the wall, but you probably didn't see the video because I had 10 subscribers at the time. And if you did, you are a legend. And boy, I was right, because they got exposed against Notre Dame on the road, giving up 48 points, their 3rd straight game giving up a 40-piece, and then coming back home and losing to Utah in the next week for the 4th straight time. Wow, Lincoln Riley, you need some help, buddy. It's obvious that Lincoln Riley is one of the biggest big game chokers in the business. He has a generational talent at QB, surrounded with weapons on both sides of the ball, and he cannot show for it with any meaningful victory. He's not changed at all since the Oklahoma days, which is the saddest part, even sticking with his defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch, who has continued to prove why he should not be coaching in the position that he is now. It feels like your local high school team from down the road could probably put up 40 against a Riley Grinch defense. USC has gone 17-5 under Riley, which in the big picture of college football is not horrible, but USC claims to be a premier program in the sport. That's what they want to be. That's what they aim for, and they have an extremely high ceiling. If a coach came into Vanderbilt and went 17-5, I would not be shitting on them and calling them a failure. But you have Lincoln Riley in a program with all the expectations, all the transfers, all the NIL, all the resources, and you give me 17-5, that is unacceptable. He deserves all the scrutiny that comes his way. That's what you sign up for when you come to LA. Oh my gosh, that kind of rhymed. Bars. And the funniest part about this all is that I mentioned earlier how SC fans hated Clay Helton. All I heard for 3 to 4 years was, fire Helton, Helton this, Helton that. Just shut up. Clay Helton and Lincoln Riley have an identical 17-5 record at USC through the first 22 games. And when I heard this, it really put things into perspective. It's the same exact cycle of hype just to be let down every single year, and USC will never get back where the program wants to be. I wonder if Lincoln Riley thinks about the fact that Oklahoma is in a prime spot to make the college football playoff this year, and he goes, dang, I never should have left. Nah, he probably doesn't. He's probably wiping away his tears with the money right now. That boy got bands. I personally never would have imagined Oklahoma becoming more successful than Lincoln Riley's team this year. So shout out to Brent Venables and his entire staff with the Sooners for doing a masterful job this season. This feels like a breakup where one person finds their happiness and moves on to something better and the other does not. Oklahoma finding there's something better and Lincoln Riley falling off the deep end. Although it's only been 2 years, Coach Lincoln Riley has failed the USC Trojans, players, and fans, continuing to crack under pressure in the biggest stages and severely underachieving with the talent he has. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I right on the money with this take, or am I absolutely overreacting out of my mind? Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you're new, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any more content like this. Join the best community in college football. I've been Saturday Shenanigans, your home for unfiltered college football content, and I will see you guys in the next one.